So, welcome everyone, and from all the different locations that you are in. And so, we continue with our long discussion, Srila Prabhupada's discourse, and very wonderful, transcendental, detailed, philosophical um, in discussion, speech, written. It's like a big essay, isn't it? Very big essay by Srila Prabhupada. So many different points, so many different angles. If you just study just like that, if you read it, it may just be the same words repeating again and again and again and again. But if we try to study it, then we know it is not the same words. It is all different angles at different times. So this is what we have to really study. We have to scratch from the surface and understand the detail. So this has helped me in my bhakti. So I'm sharing that with all of you. Hopefully it will make some sense to you. And if you feel it is okay, then you can implement that in your life too. You know, because ultimately we have to make our own choices, our own decisions to go back to Godhead. You can take help, but most important help is our own self. Yeah. Okay. All right. So as we come to the sixth part of our discussion on the topic of uh, the subtleness, the spirit soul, or the non-material world and the material world, the material and non-material nature, the material and non-material of world, material and non-material things, elements, which we are constantly grappling with. The materialists would never understand non-material because their life is only used to seeing material things, and material things will always make people do, what do I say, may make people see things in a very perverted form, not in its pure form. So they will seek seeing that I must cheat somebody, I must fleece somebody, I have to lie to somebody. What is in my best interest? I'll look for that only. But spiritual things are totally opposite to that. We have experience in preaching, and it happens all the time, even now, within our own team at the present moment. Don't think it happened in the past. That people come just for their benefit, they come. When the benefit is over, they will leave. And verbally they say, we are eternally indebted to you and all these things. That has got no meaning. Action speaks louder than words. This happened in the past, it is happening today, it will happen tomorrow also. But remember one thing, all those people, we know who they were, we know who they are. And any sincere person, any sincere preacher who is who's taken up this free business of spreading Krishna consciousness has will be given these eyes and the intelligence to see. And the biggest challenge would be that we should not discriminate. We know this person is coming genuinely, he'll remain, she'll remain. This person is not coming genuinely, or they are genuine for some time. Genuineness will go away. They are here with some ulterior motives. They are there and not there. One person is 100% accepting what you say. We do not believe that way, that people should accept us 100%. Because we read Srila Prabhupada's books, so you should really accept Srila Prabhupada, not us. And others would not. So we have to be very particular in making sure that everybody gets mercy. But those who are sincere, those who give their 100%, because we give 100%, they get the most mercy. And those who are not accepting 100%, they will not get that much mercy. This is the point to be understood. It's a secret. And there is a reason why people say, why is this continuing? The program still continuing? Why is enthusiasm still going on? because this is how Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj has taught us. And we are sharing with you whatever we have learned imperfectly. Okay? Wonderful. So all these programs are for my personal and my family's personal devotion service. If you get benefited, it is great. But there's main intention is that we are engaged. Yeah. Right. So we have had very wonderful discussion last week. Let us have a quick um, realizations from all of you as to what notes you have made, what have you understood from last week, and please do not repeat others. I would know, we would all know if you have not made notes or if you're not saying things. So if make something in sincerity. You may be repeating the point, that's fine, but you would know that yeah, this is your realization, what you have understood. Okay, so if you'd like to share, please share now. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And then we'll continue with our discussion.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Our Grace Purna Prema Devi Dasa Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarvan Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like what I have made notes and understood from the last discussion is uh, we were studying, we were discussing like, and then one point came up, okay, all the glitters are not gold. When you explained that point, like in Kali Yuga, how false thing will have many followers than the proper things. Then there was a question of Pradyum Prabhu on the topic like unmanifested and manifested things. We hear so many times in our readings that the material world is unmanifest and then it become manifest. So is it like it exists somewhere between the spiritual and material world in unmanifest state, or it's always present but not just manifest? I was asking that. Then you said that ki manifest means appear and disappear, and gave the example of like fear manifested, anger manifested. So it was there, but it becomes visible. Then this discussion get very long. Like then we discussed many things on this, like when the material world goes, so where it goes in the body of Mahavishnu, and it again become unmanifest. Then what happens to the soul? So you said ki the soul always also goes in the body with its unfinished karma, and when the world is again created, it takes birth again. And there were many points in it. I may have missed some. And called the unmanifest material energy is called pradhan. It was a little technical, and we'll understand it later. Then we discussed, uh, yeah, the point ki what is the biggest charity? So you said knowledge is the biggest charity, and for whom it should be given to? For those who beg. And what we are studying in modern world is knowledge is distributed, but not given as a charity. Knowledge should be begged and it's given as a dan to someone. And then my question was that ki, like how like we were studying ki three modes of material nature control the uh, all the elements, eight elements. So our body is made up of that, and our soul is inside in body. So our body is controlled by the material nature. So the demands of body and the demands of soul are different, and we have to understand it. Ki my demands are different. These are body's need. Then we can become more clear in saying ki I'm not this body, I'm this soul. Else it's all just theoretical. And then we have to cut this knot with the sword of knowledge, all these bodily conceptions. So these are all my like all the notes I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Modi. Hare Krishna. Yes, if you can just make sure what points were, yeah, which you understood from the previous class. That's fine. Let me repeat that. That's okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Who would like to go next?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, His Grace Purna Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhuji for arranging these classes and for training us. From the last class, Prabhuji, thank you, Deepak Prabhu, for sharing the points from the last class. So some of the points that I remember and from the notes are like we read that uh, the after a certain period the engagement of the material particle is annihilated, but uh, like the spiritual particle is never annihilated. So Prabhupada then writes there that no one should fear the annihilation of the anti-material particle, for it survives the annihilation of material world. So it is a like I was thinking that uh, how cleverly Srila Prabhupada quoted this, and how uh, cleverly it relates to Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says that the soul never dies. And Prabhupada also says it here that the engagement of the material particle is annihilated, but the soul is not annihilated. And then we talked about knowledge as well. Uh, yeah, that knowledge is given in charity, and it is the biggest charity that we can give. And then the point came was that charity is given to beggars, and who amongst is begging for knowledge? The charity is always given for someone who begs for it. Discuss that point. And those technical discussion with Mahat Tattva Pradhan. And Pradhan is not Brahman that we study. But I did not understand it, and I made a note that I will be able to understand this later, not now. And uh, when someone gives us something without asking for it, then it is called mercy. So uh, like when we came to classes, like Avinash Roji and Saraswati Mataji, they gave us without us asking for it. And all the our mentors and our Shikshakus, they gave us something which we never asked for it. But later we realized that how important it is. And uh, Prabhuji shared that point that first the information is there. Like when we are neophytes and we do not anything. So it is just information to us. Then at some time it becomes knowledge. And that from knowledge, when knowledge is applied, then it becomes wisdom. These are some of the points that I remember from the last one. Thank you so much.
Yes. So it is said that whenever a living being is ready or even not ready, we do not know from the past lives. So when Krishna knows that the living being is ready, then he sends forth a guru. A guru comes searching for the disciple. It is said this. So this is in the scriptures. So this is how we say that. What did you do? So that's the reason why we sitting in one place there in New Zealand, requested the devotees. Now you have been trained, so you go and speak on our behalf. Make sure you speak like this, you teach like this. Make sure this has been done in this way, or this is what is happening. So this is how it has been reached. And the more you will reach, the more this mercy will flow. You see, from Prabhupada to Guru Maharaj to me to us to all of you. Yeah, to Avinash Krishna Prabhu and to all of you. This is how it is. And it is on our request that it is happening. So always preaching is done through request. So this is how the definition is that when you're ready, the Guru comes searching. And without Guru, there is no Gnan. Guru will not Gnan. So Gnan means Guru. Yeah, that's why we say when teachers are Guru. When mathematics teacher is also Guru, this is also to Guru. Yes, so that's they are Gurus. Our parents are also Guru, certainly. Most important thing, one who gives a tattva, spiritual knowledge. And this nobody can define, nobody can say he is not, she is, and all those things. That's not possible. The fact is that you've been done with, for example, the squirrel, on Friday. That nobody can say that you are not devotee, you are not like this. No, squirrel accepted. Lord Ram accepted squirrel service. Who's a living being to accept think that Krishna is accepting service or not? That is not right. It's a wrong thing. Yeah? So wonderful. Right. Let us continue, please. Others, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, His Grace Ambrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Pragya Mataji, His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Das Prabhuji for having these classes and for training us. And thank you, Deepak Prabhuji and Pradyum Prabhuji for sharing the nice realizations as well. And unfortunately, I do not remember a lot of points from that class. I thought I would get some time to listen to it before, but I didn't, and I will make it a point to listen to it again. But the one point that I do, one discussion that I do prominently remember, as everybody said also, was the discussion about knowledge being a charity, knowledge being the biggest form of charity, and how it is given to those who beg for it. And the point that stuck with me after that class was also that there is so much we discussed that there is so much ego that all of us have, that we think that we're coming here and getting knowledge at our own convenience, at our own time, and we don't beg for it. Like we like you shared that example of like once about how if you put someone's head on the under the water and then you come back and then you take a breath, and that is how desperately you should want it. But we don't I don't certainly don't want it that desperately. And it's we also mentioned, like as Pradyum Prabhu was saying, that we were given knowledge without asking for it. Like we received this without begging for it per se. And so that is all the more reason for us to take it that much more seriously. And that was one of the points that I did remember. So, sorry, Prabhuji, I could not recall many points, but I will make it a point to listen to that class again. Hare Krishna.
It's okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Bhakti Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Sanpan Krishna Prabhuji for arranging these classes and training us. Thank you, devotees, for the nice realization. Sorry, Prabhuji, I joined late as I was in Avinash Prabhuji's class. Um, uh, yes, Prabhuji, I have noted some of the points from the last class, and um, I just want to repeat it. The first point, which was mentioned in the class by you, was pure devotional service has to be performed with no side motives. And this was a point I was thinking, when I there was one of um, the Ram Navami program which I went for my colleague, and there I there this point was he was mentioning that we have been performing this Mahaprasadam every year, and he was mentioning that we don't have any motive in order to do this. Whatever Ramji gave us the seva, we are just doing it. And this point, I remember that pure devotional service has to be performed with no side motives. We are, they don't eat onion and garlic, but they are but whatever they are doing, it is only for the seva. And he was mentioning that when we don't have money also, whatever Ramji is arranging, we are just doing it. So I was thinking of this point. I don't know what how it this point came up in my mind at that time, but this was the point I really remember at that point when he was speaking about this. And we were discussing about how the deities, they also have deities of Ram Bhagwan, Sita Mata, Hanumanji, and Lakshmanji. So this, and the second point which you mentioned about change should be seen in your behavior after attending the classes. Then you also mentioned about where you are. In order to start pure devotional service, you should know that where you are, and everybody is moving. It depends on how seriously you are moving and how far you can move fast. It depends on your seriousness how fast you move. There are other points also we discussed about antimatter and matter, and Pradyum Prabhu also asked the question. And when Pradyum Prabhu asked this question, you also mentioned about you need to beg for the knowledge. Knowledge means charity. If you cannot beg, then you will not get the knowledge. You have to beg for the knowledge in order to get the knowledge. Because unless you have a question, you won't appreciate the answer given to you. That was also the point which you were mentioning very nicely, Prabhuji, that unless you have a question, you will not appreciate the answer given to it. And there were other points which we discussed about Sankhya philosophy, except we have 24 categories in Sankhya. spiritual when spiritual world is different from how it is different from the material world. We need to analyze it very minutely, and we can't speculate. We cannot speculate from our own self. We need to inquire and do action. And whatever Krishna likes, we need to be serious about each and everything. So these were the points which I noted down, Roji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for organizing the classes. Thank you, all the devotees, for the realization. There were a few points which I noted down from the last class. The very first point was that the annihilation of the material world does not affect the anti-material world. It survives all the material destruction. The material universe is manifested and annihilated cyclically, but the anti-material world remains eternal. It doesn't get destroyed. The another point was that the unmanifested material energy is called pradhan, which is subtle unmanifested matter, which is different from spirit soul. The anti-material world is beyond the material elements and is transcendental to material nature. Then we studied about the philosophical part of Sankhya philosophy and about gross materialists, that gross materialists deny the anti-material principle or just accept material disintegration, which is death. And Sankhya philosophers accepts transcendental anti-material principle, which is different from material nature, but that is also done in the material platform. With they speculated with material energies, but only bhakti yoga is the process by which it can be understood nicely. The other thing, the other point was that Prabhuji said that Krishna re bhaje se bada chatur. So whoever surrenders to Krishna or worship Krishna is very intelligent. So for being intelligent, to get that knowledge, you have to beg first. So those who beg are very fortunate. That's what Prabhuji said. If you're very clever, you do so. If you don't beg, if you don't ask, you won't get it. So to get the knowledge, you have to ask, you have to beg for that knowledge. The other point was that bhakti is very personal and it cannot be institutionalized. So you have to do it by your own, and nobody else will be doing that for you. That are my points, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the class.
What about others? Okay, if others don't have any realizations from our previous class, so we'll continue with our discussion. Hare Krishna. So who would like to read, please? Yes, mother, please read. Thank you.
There are two Mataji's that raised their hand.
Sorry, I saw Anjali Mother is there. She was on the screen. Let her read first, then we'll see it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for giving me the classes. In the material world, the topmost planet is called Satyalok or Brahmalok. Beings of the greatest talents live on this planet. The presiding deity of the Brahmalok is Brahma, the first created being of this material world. Brahma is a living being like so many of us, but he is the most talented personality in the material world. He is not so talented that he is in the category of God, but he is in the category of those living entities directly dominated by God. God and the living entities both belong to the antimaterial world. The scientists, therefore, would be rendering service to everyone by researching the constitution of the antimaterial world, how it is administered, how things are shaped there, who are the presiding personalities, and so on. Of the Vedic literatures, Srimad Bhagavatam deals elaborately with these matters. The Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. These two important books of knowledge should be thoroughly studied by all men in the scientific world. These books would give many clues to scientific progress and would indicate many new discoveries.
Yes. So anything that is existing which you find in the material world, even with science, you will find that in some shape and form, directly or indirectly, it will have some relevance and some information in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. But most time or not, that information would be in its subtle form, not in its gross form. So it requires a little intelligence to uh, do the comparison and correlation. I have come to this conclusion after a lot of thought. Okay, right. So, anyone wants to ask any question on this point, something which they have not understood, which needs verification from this paragraph?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I had one question from this paragraph.
Yes, please.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that here it is written that Lord Brahma takes care of all the things, how the presiding deities would be at a particular planet, and how the administration would be, all those things. So, does Lord Brahma also decides the time factor for the like the earthly planets or other planets? Like I had this question which is a bit uh, out of topic, but does like the Satyug, Dwapar Treta Yug that we have on these earthly planets, do they also work in the Brahma Lok as well? Like how the time factor works from them? Does Lord Brahma takes care of that as well? Or is that something that is done by material energy?
Um, this question can be answered. I want you to answer this question by answering this question of mine. Okay? You asked me whether time factor is under control of Lord Brahma. So when we see Lord Brahma also dies, does it in his control then?
No, Prabhuji.
No? Why did you come to that conclusion?
Because like Lord Brahma also dies. So he could have the control
So,
of time. Could not.
so what happens then?
I think he might not be the controller of time.
Might not be, meaning?
He is not controller of time.
Because he dies. So what does it mean? Death means what?
I think that we cannot have like we cannot have control over something that we like from the example that Hiranyakashipu asked Lord Brahma to be immortal, but he said that he himself is not. So how he can give a boon of letting Hiranyakashipu be immortal because he himself is not immortal.
So just remove the name Brahma, because when you say Brahma, it becomes, we get used to it, We can see, visualize forehead and all that because we are from the Vedic, religion. So say the first created being of the universe. Can he be in control of time? And why not? Your arguments, answers are correct, but let us want to refine it a bit more. The fact that he is created, that means what? He starts from some point, and the fact that he dies, meaning what? His body
There
is
is
finished at some point.
this
If he is a creator and controller of time, he says, no, I want to extend my death. Correct? But he can't do it. So he's not a creator of time. Time is not under his control. That's why we say time is a representative, is a um, impersonal and external representation of Krishna. Okay? Very good question. You understand this point now?
to see that point that does the Satyug Dwapar Yug also work in the Brahma Lok as well?
Um, not necessary. It is in the low planets. It's in the earthly planet and all. But if it is existing in some other form, I do not know that. but generally not there. This is in the degraded place only. But in the degraded place also, there are times where it is very favorable for living beings who live in the higher planetary system can also live in the earthly planets, where they can perform the austerities that is needed. Satyuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapar Yuga. But Satyuga is very favorable for, we say it is the golden time. Correct? We say it's a golden time. But golden time for what? To perform austerity. Not to enjoy. This is our Kali Yuga thinking. You say golden time is enjoy. Eat whatever you like, drink whatever you like. They do not eat. They would not eat for 50,000 years. Out of their 100,000 years life, half the life they would not eat and perform austerity. To realize Krishna, whom we use it in a dogmatic way, is believe, oh, Krishna is God. But they say that Purusha, Supreme Purusha. That's why I said remove the word Brahma and say first created being. Then you will not put a name there. You say created being. And then one who creates him. Who is that? So they all are in search of his, that created being who has been created. So this information also is there available in Bhagavatam. And that's the reason why Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj would say that it is very important that we study the scriptures from the mood of the speaker. So that is the reason why it is very imperative when we say that if you do not ask questions, if we do not ask questions, we will not understand the knowledge given to us. Because the mood of the speaker is narrated by the mood of the person who asks the question. Yeah. So whole Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is question and answer. And depending upon the level and the mood in which the question is asked, the answers are given. Because from 221, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. Yeah. Shishyaste ham swadhimam tvam prapanna. Now I'm surrendered to you. When in true sense, not nowadays people say I'm surrendered, but they don't surrender. After next time they don't listen, they have got their own things to go. They fight, they scream, they shout, they disagree. That is not surrender. And of course, you should be very careful to surrender. Because Kali Yuga, you cannot surrender to everybody. The rascals also want to cheat you. I also want to cheat you. So that's why Krishna is in this representative form of Bhagavad Gita. Surrender to Bhagavad Gita. And all that we are doing in the study group is to make you understand how Arjuna understood it. And when he said, I surrender to you, Krishna means he surrendered. So we should also surrender following the footsteps of Arjuna, not becoming Arjuna. We understand this point? So this is very great, very important. So Brahma is not the original creator, but the one who creates him, on whom he also meditates. That is our meditation. But not jumping over Brahma, because through him we understand through Brahma Samhita. We understand this point? Yeah. So whether these three Kali Yuga, Satyuga exists there or not, I do not know. But it doesn't have much relevance in higher planet systems. It doesn't. Lower planet systems, middle and lower, it would exist more. We have not much information over lower planet system also. Because it's too degraded there also. Higher is to enjoyment. High. Like there are ocean right now. We cannot drink ocean salty water. There's ocean of milk somewhere. Drink as much milk, you don't have to pay money to drink milk. The ocean of alcohol in some planets. Ugh, very nice. All drunkards should go to that planet, eh? But it's not that easy to go. Yeah. Then there is planet of honey. Then there's planet of sugarcane milk. It's unimaginable for us. We say, where is a higher planet? I cannot see any of these. Exactly. You cannot see. Does it mean it doesn't exist? Ask yourself the question. So all we try to do is this, that we do not copy the seniors, the authorities, but we learn from them. This is very important, and this is where this will help us in our quest for going back to Godhead. Because ultimately, we have to follow these authorities. Yeah, it is and it is very easy for us to be judgmental and copying them and get some information, so we say we know things. It's not how it is. You know, that is not how it is. We have to see their bhakti and how the Lord accepted their bhakti. And then we follow what is their qualities in them which attracts Lord Krishna, our dear Lord. Remove the name, the Supreme Creator. What attracts Supreme Creator from this person? Let me understand that. Then it is correct. Is it not so? Instead of blankly copying the person, what he is doing, we copy. That is not. It's called copying. Anukaran. Anusharan means to really understand what is he doing, and then they follow. So wow. When Guru Maharaj had disciples who Maharaj was very impressed sometimes. So the disciples would call them. What do you do, man? Whenever Maharaj calls you, Maharaj is so happy. What do? You please tell me. Explain to me. You see, they would make special phone calls like this. So this is how one has to follow. And those disciples have perfected the arts, probably, of understanding the mood of what is needed to be done to please. And then please Krishna. These are gurus who please Krishna. You see, this is very important. This point has to be understood, very much so. And if you think that you are going to be dependent, we are dependent on everybody's mercy. At the same time, we are completely independent. This Achinta Bheda Bhed is to be important, is to be understood. If you are independent of everyone, dependent only upon Krishna, you'll be very happy. Mahavishnu Goswami's quote is there. Yesterday, I think yesterday's quote or some quote is there, obviously. The Bhagavad Gita makes you completely independent of everything, just dependent upon Krishna. Nobody can check your devotional service. Only if you do this, you are doing devotional service. Of course, you must do chanting, study, all this stuff. But only if you do this in this way, you are doing devotional service. Otherwise, you're not doing devotional service. Who are anybody to give that test mark, pass mark, fail mark? That's not what bhakti is about. This is to be understood very well. So this is all linked together with Brahma, the first created being. Okay? Please, it is very important. See, Krishna had some. I was talking to my family today, on this point. So Krishna had during his pastimes, there used to be a very nice gopi, a very nice servant. She used to cook for Krishna. Her name was Dhanishta. Yeah, the same servant of Krishna in Krishna's pastime, when he came as Lord Chaitanya, the same personality appeared to serve Krishna, but as Raghav Pandit. Raghav Pandit in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. He became a man, Raghav Pandit. And Raghav Pandit's sister, Damayanti, She used to cook for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She would select the best and cook for him all the time. Because she was a gopi in a previous incarnation, Lord Krishna's pastime, as Gunamala. So when Raghav Pandit would go and meet Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu left Navadvip and went to Orissa and Puri, Jagannath Puri. Raghav Pandit would go and Damayanti would cook for him and he would carry heaps of prasadam without telling anybody. He would carry for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And and this was cooked by Damayanti, who was Gunamala, his sister. In the previous life was as a Gopi Gunamala, yet Damayanti's sister. And it is this that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would very, very lovingly eat for 1 full year. He would eat. So, whatever Raghav Pandit brought in his bags, these bags were celebrated as called Raghav Jhali, means the bags of Raghav Pandit. So, when you come with us, by mercy of Guru Maharaj and Krishna, if we are together, but this requires some elaborate traveling, not one place traveling. We can go there too. We have to search out these places. So just see. Now we also have got the same opportunity. We've got festivals. We can also cook for Krishna, can't we? Like today is also a very important day. Today is Ekadashi day. I don't know in India it is yesterday or today, I do not know. So Ekadashi is Ekadashi feast. Prasadam, Ekadashi Prasadam. Of course we eat less on Ekadashi and all that, That's correct. But there are special days which can be observed. And we have to make most of it. There are times when we cannot. Understandable. There are times when you are alone, you can't, or you are no situations permit, you cannot. But if situation is favorable, which is very rare, situation favorable. But till the time situation is favorable, you should have this facility of cooking for Krishna. So we do not follow, we do not copy Raghav Pandit and his sister Damayanti, mother. But we can learn from them, no? Just imagine this. How much she would be cooking. This is not described, okay? But how much she would be cooking that Mahaprabhu ate for the whole year. And how much he'll be carrying with him without letting others know that he's carrying this prasad. How is this? It's very mystical, Very mystical. Bhakti is very mystical things. And they did not go and tell people, hey, I'm cooking for Krishna, Mahaprabhu, I'm going. They said they didn't inform anybody. What they were doing. And this information, you can say, how is it written? It is written because Mahaprabhu's personal servant was very, very confidential, revealed it, and that was informed and written then. After that, people know. Otherwise, people do not know this. They do not want people to know this. See how different it is? And this happened in Kali Yuga only, less than 400 years ago. But see, because these personalities are like this, they are from different age. Their mood is different. This we have to learn. Or we want to have people, we want to show, we want to show this and that, all these things. No problem. As I said, the choice is ours. Whom do we want to follow? Just tell me, raise your hands. How beautiful it is to hear this. Is it not so? I'm very inspired by this. It's very, very beautiful. It just gives you peace of mind. Complete peace of mind. This is bhakti. And you will feel the whole atmosphere, you can feel it in this discussion. Just by talking about this, just think. And it is said that when the description is given about this Raghav Pandit's Raghav Jhali, his bags, he said normally Gaudiya Vaishnavas, devotees, they cry listening to the description. So we always go towards the north, sometimes we go towards the east, of India, and absolute nectar. absolute nectar. These places are still existing. Not in our hands, but we are requested to go and visit. It's very nice. Absolute nectar. You see, so till the time we have got the capacity, we've got the ability, we must do this. Afterwards, when we don't have the capacity, it's a different thing. That's fine, we can't do. But we have it, we did. Like we did so much in programs, man. Our devotees would know with us who are in our, when we ran around doing this, ran around did that, we used to prasad distribution, we used to serve everybody, like in the marriage and all these things, our own money, calling people, so much hard work. Those days are over. We can't, it can't happen again. But it may happen, but who knows. But but those days, it was possible, we did it. So this is very critical. This following the mood is very important. And see this, those who are really devotees, they would not tell people. Others would not even know that they're doing these things. And those who are not, they'll go up and down like this, they're doing those things. And it is true, it is Sankirtan movement for everybody. But we have to find out these jewels. And that is the meaning of following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. This is the meaning of it. Nothing else. It's not some esoteric thing following acharyas. This is following mode of acharyas. How much money they would have invested, their cooking, and so nobody would know that this cooking all this while. We cook for one thing, one day everybody else knows, all surrounding people know, what are you cooking? Hey, I'm cooking this, I'm very busy. All these things we do. Then nobody would know for the whole year cooking. So I must have cooked for so many days, and years actually. Jai, Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Yes, please continue.
The transcendentalists and the materialists are two distinct classes of men. The transcendentalist gathers knowledge from authoritative scriptures like the Vedas. Vedic literature is received from authoritative sources which are in the line of transcendental disciplic succession. This disciplic succession, parampara, is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that hundreds of thousands of years ago, the Gita was spoken to the presiding deity of the sun, who delivered the knowledge to his son Manu, from whom the present generation of men has descended. Manu, in his turn, delivered this transcendental knowledge to his son King Ikshvaku, who is the forefather of the dynasty in which the personality of Godhead Sri Ram appeared. This long chain of disciplic succession was broken during the Advent period of Lord Krishna, 5000 years ago, and for this reason Krishna restated the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, thereby making him the first disciple of this knowledge in this age. The transcendentalist of this age, therefore, is in the disciplic line that starts with Arjuna. Without troubling himself with materialistic research work, the transcendentalist acquires the truth concerning matter and antimatter in the most perfect way through this disciplic succession, and thereby saves himself much botheration. The gross materialists, however, do not believe in the anti-material worlds of the personality of Godhead. They are therefore unfortunate creatures, although sometimes very talented, educated, and advanced otherwise. They are bewildered by the influence of the material manifestation and are devoid of knowledge of things anti-material. It is a good sign, therefore, that the materialistic scientists are gradually progressing toward the region of the antimaterial world. It may even be possible for them to make sufficient progress to be able to know the details of this antimaterial world, where the personality of Godhead resides as the predominating figure and where the living entities live with him and serve him. The living entities who serve the Godhead are equal in quality to him, but at the same time they are predominated as servitors. In the antimaterial world, there is no difference between the predominated and the predominator. The relationship is in perfection and without tinge of materialism.
Okay, what do you understand by this, Mother? And this last statement in the living entities who serve the Godhead are equal in quality to him. At the same time, they are predominated by as servitors. In the antimaterial world, there is no difference between the predominated and the predominator. The relationship is in perfection and without danger of materialism. Yeah. So just take a deep breath, take your time, and just explain in your words what did you understand by these statements.
Uh, yes, Prabhuji, I understood that in quality, the predominator, which is Krishna, and the predominators, which are the living entities, are similar as we are part and parcel of Krishna. So the soul is part of Krishna. So in quality wise, they both are similar. But in the anti-material world, there is no difference as they both are same. But living entities are servitors. They are serving Krishna by their own will, or Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So we are serving, and there is no tinge of materialism that there in the anti-material world we are not materially contaminated, or so that is why without any tinge of materialism we are just serving Krishna, though we are equal in quality with him. That's what I understood, Prabhuji.
Yes, that is correct. Your understanding is correct. So in the spiritual world, Krishna, of course, in Vaikuntha it is different. In Goloka is different. So in Goloka, the awe and reverence is not existing. Serving Krishna with awe and reverence. In quality, everyone is the same with Krishna. Quantity is different, and they know this. But at the same time, the love for Krishna is so intense there that at times there can be also Krishna likes sometimes to be overwhelmed by and predominated too, although he's a predominator. That's the reason why, due to Sridama's curse, there was separation for Radha and Krishna for 100 years. And they couldn't do anything about it. And the curse happened from some reason. You see? But they're not allowed to enter somewhere, something, Krishna wasn't, all these things were there. That's beyond our scope of discussion here. But there in Golok Vrindavan, it was curse was happened. And they had to take birth and they had to do the separation. No, they didn't have to take birth. They appeared on earth. And in that pastimes, the separation happened. Due to the curse of a devotee. This is an example of the even predominated able to do so. Otherwise, how is it possible for a servant to create this disturbance, so called, to the boss? Yeah. But even in that, um, Radha and Krishna exemplified their love. That's why we love Radharani the most. And she got married and all those things. Okay, wonderful. Your understanding is absolutely correct. Let's continue further. Thank you.
The nature of the material world is destructive. According to the Bhagavad Gita, there is some partial truth to the assumption of the physical scientist that there is annihilation of the material and anti-material worlds when they chance to clash. The material world is a creation of changing modes of nature. These modes, gunas, are known as sattva, goodness, rajas, passion, and tamas, ignorance. The material world is created by the mode of rajas, maintained by the mode of sattva, and annihilated by the mode of tamas. These modes are omnipresent in the material world, and as such, at every hour, every minute, every second, the process of creation, maintenance, and annihilation is taking place all over the material universe. The highest planet of the material universe, Brahmalok, is also subjected to these modes of nature. Although the duration of life on that planet, due to the predominance of the mode of sattva, it is said to be 4.3 million into 1000 into 2 into 30 into 12 into 100 solar years. Despite this long duration, however, Brahmalok is subject to destruction. Although life on Brahmalok is fantastically long compared to life on earth, it is only a flash in comparison to the eternal life of the non material worlds. Consequently, the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna, asserts the importance of the anti material universe, which is his abode.
Okay, just one second. Krishna, can you just go up, please? Again, please? Thank you. So, now I think you went down. Just go down now. Still go down. Still go down. Yeah. See, here it is mentioned. So, this answers the question we were discussing previously, that in Brahmalok, in a high planetary system, the lifespan is very heavy. So, they will not have the predominance of Kali, you know. So for in the Brahmaloka it is mentioned that there is predominance of Sattva Loka, Sattva Guna. The Guna is Sattva Guna. So the lives, all this 430,000 times 1000 times 2 times 30 times 12 times 100 is a lifespan of Brahma, which is the lifespan of Brahmaloka, which is predominated by Sattva Guna. So the influence of Tamaguna and Rajagun, which is in Kali and Dwapar and Treta, it doesn't exist so much. So this also answers the question partially from this point. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I was trying to say when I was saying that. Okay, hope you understand this point. Yes, please continue.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry to cut you off.
Yes.
I just had one small question, like a clarification. It may be like a silly question, but we've discussed this before that humans are like only in human life we can introspect and go back to Godhead, and in the higher planetary systems and the lower planetary systems, it's not possible. Um, in Brahmalok, like with the absence of Rajas and Tamogod as well, and with such a long lifespan, and because of course, like they are the highest living beings. Like I just wanted to ask that is it that they are not that they can't introspect as humans do, or is it that because there is so much enjoyment over there that there is no
No,
need
no,
for
no, 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 no,
introspection?
no. See, we should understand what is humans too. Human being is not human like you and me. There are 400,000 different species of human beings, and Devas included in that, high planetary systems. So anyone who can introspect here in this phase. All the 400,000 species, lower may not be able to. They're as good as animals, because they're again, as human beings also, the influence of lower modes, ignorance and all is very heavy. So they can't introspect. They just do it. Then passion would give an answer to himself, oh, hey, I did only so much, he did so much, so I am okay to do this. Yeah. But only when there is some amount of sattva gun in somebody, then the real introspection can take place, which is a bit higher in the demigod place also. But the enjoyment is very heavy there. So in that sphere of life also there is sattva gun, there's tamagun also, and there is passion also. That's why they are enjoying with women, society girls is very common. Enjoyment in with opulence of wealth. They may not even live in our 3 bedroom house or 2 bedroom house. They said, "What is this? This is yeah." They live in palaces, you know. This is how they would live life. But again, there are different grades of heavenly planets. That's why in the Kalpa, only Brahma's planet is not dissolved, and truthfully lower than them. Till Indralok, everything goes down. See, all these things I've answered before, but now because you asked the question, you'll remember this very well. Till Indraloka will go down, if it is a law, in Kalpas. Above than that, they always exist. When Brahma wakes up, we all wake up. And then the process starts again. That's why it's 432,000 times 1,000 is one day, times 2 is night. That's why it's into, you know, in the calculation. Okay, so the 400,000 is the number of species of living beings, human beings. There are different grades of it, and each of them are influenced by the modes in different way. Like even amongst us, I may be influenced by a particular mode, you may be influenced by some other mode, he may be influenced by some other modes, you may be influenced by some other modes, predominating more and less. But they'll be constantly in and out, you know. So this, it may be a very dry subject, but if we do not understand this, we won't be able to understand the effects of the soul on the body, soul on the body, yeah, and why one behaves like this. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
And again, not all demigods are the same level. There are higher demigods, lower demigods, medium level demigods, all these are there. They also run away from with others' wife, kidnap somebody else's wife, extramarital affair. They have all these things. Don't you worry. I'm not saying this scripture says this. And we're not laughing, I'm saying it's a matter of fact. And this is how it is attached to even Ramayana. With Ahalya, with the foot, Lord Ram brought her to life. It is a pastime, as I've given, we discussed this pastime with Chandra Dev. She was the wife of a sage, you know, Gautam Rishi. Right. Yeah. Okay. Is it answer your question? Let's move on then.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
mother, please continue. Thank you.
Lord Krishna instructs that all the planets within the material universe are destroyed at the end of 4.3 million times 1000 times 2 times 30 times 12 times 100 solar years. And all the living beings inhabiting these material planets are destroyed materially along with the destruction of the material worlds. The living entity, however, is constitutionally an antimaterial particle. But unless he elevates himself to the region of antimaterial worlds by cultivation of antimaterial activities, he is destroyed materially at the annihilation of the material worlds and is subject to take rebirth in a material shape with the rebirth of a new material universe. In other words, he is subject to the pains of repeated birth and death. Only those living entities who take to the loving service of the personality of Godhead during the manifested stage of material life are undoubtedly transferred to the antimaterial worlds, are quitting the material body. Immortality is obtained only by those who return to Godhead by practice of antimaterial activities.
Okay,
What
you understand this?
Yes, Prabhuji, I
I'm
understood.
sure many of you will be sleeping by this, reading this paragraph. It's a good time to sleep for this paragraph. Material, anti-material, this, that. So I want somebody else to explain what is going on here. What is Prabhupada saying here? It's for your own benefit. Somebody else who has not spoken so far. If you don't want to, we'll just move on.
Vishnu Guruji. Thank you.
No, you have spoken. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Uh, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yeah, we cannot see you, but we can hear you.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I'm not able to switch on the camera. Somewhere else. But I was actively listening. What I understood from this point is that there is continuous destruction of material universe, as we have already learned. But we keep coming back to it because we are so attached with our material body, or we can say the false ego we have. So unless and until we take out that false ego from ourselves and attachment towards material body and attached with Krishna, will not be gaining that immortal Atma Swarup. We have immortal soul, but we think ourselves as mortal being because we are attached to this material world. And although getting annihilated every time, we still take birth because of that attachment. This is what I understood probably. And
Okay. Anybody else, please? What you said is correct. Okay, let's continue. Thank you. Yes, Mother. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
You have a question on this point?
Is Prabhuji on this, the last para of the last line? Only those living entities who take to the loving service of the personality of Godhead during the manifested stage of material life are undoubtedly transferred to the anti-material worlds after quitting the material world. So what I understand from this is those who take loving service of personality of Godhead, but what I didn't understand about this line during the manifested stage of material life.
It's when everything is manifested. This is manifestation right now going on, not unmanifested. From Lord Mahavishnu's body, it's manifested now. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we'll have change of the speaker, please. Is it okay? Thank you very much, Anjali Mataji. Who was the next one wanted to speak? Sorry, the devotee. Okay, so I think it was Divanshi Mataji wanted to read. Please read. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Anjali Mataji, for reading. Um, what are these anti-material activities? They are medicines. For example, when a man falls ill, he goes to a physician who prescribes medicines which eventually cure the suffering patient. Similarly, the materialist is ailing, and he should consult an expert transcendentalist physician. What is his ailment? He is suffering the tribulations of repeated birth, deaths, diseases, and old age. Once he agrees to put himself under the back to Godhead treatment, he is able to transfer himself to the antimaterial world, where there is eternal life instead of birth and death. Annihilation of the material world takes place in two ways. Partial annihilation occurs at the end of every 4.3 million into 1000 solar years, or at the end of each day of Brahmalok, which is the topmost planet in the material world. During that time of partial annihilation, the topmost planets, such as Brahmalok, are not annihilated. But at the end of each duration of 4,300,000, 1 into 1,000 into 2 into 30 into 12 into 100 solar years, the entire cosmic manifestation is merged into the antimaterial body from whence the material principles emanate, manifest, and merge after annihilation. The antimaterial world, which is far removed from the material sky, is never annihilated. It absorbs the material world. It may be that a clash occurs between the material and antimaterial worlds, as suggested by the scientists, and that the material worlds are destroyed, but there is no annihilation of the antimaterial worlds. The eternally existing antimaterial world is unmanifested to the material scientist. He can simply have information of it insofar as the principles of its existence are contrary to the modes of the material world. Full details of the antimaterial universe can be known only from the infallible source of liberated authorities who have thoroughly realized the constitution of the antimaterial principle. This information is received by oral reception by a submissive disciple of the personality of Godhead.
So we understand these points. Anyone has any questions on this point, please? This paragraph.
Hare Krishna. Um, Thank you for this very nice class. I just had a question. I believe it may have been answered before, so I apologize if it's been answered before. But in this instance, when Srila Prabhupada is talking about a clash between the material and anti-material worlds, what exactly is it referring to? So when Srila Prabhupada says that the material worlds are destroyed as a result of this clash.
So read the previous sentence on this. The antimaterial world, which is far removed.
The anti-material world, which is far removed from the material sky, is never annihilated. It absorbs the material world. It may be that a clash occurs between the material and anti-material worlds, as suggested by the scientists, and that the material worlds are destroyed. But there is no annihilation of the anti-material worlds.
Yeah, so he's saying that if there may be a clash between the two. Okay, so Prabhupada are talking about if there is a clash which the materialists are talking about, they're talking about the annihilation of the material world, going back to Mahavishnu. That's why he gave the duration 400,000 times, 1,000 times, 2,000, 30 times, 12 times 100 solar years. That's Brahma's lifetime.
Right. Yes.
It's a premise. It's a premise of the whole presentation.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
The Vedic knowledge was thus imparted unto the heart of Brahma, the first living being in the material creation. It was Brahma who related this knowledge to the sage Narad Muni. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, to Vivaswan, the presiding deity of the sun. And when the oral chain of disciplic succession was broken, Lord Krishna repeated the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. At that time, Arjun took the role of disciple and student in order to receive transcendental knowledge from Sri Krishna. In order to drive out all misgivings which the gross materialists of the world may have, Arjun asked all relevant questions, and the answers were given by Krishna so that any layman can understand them. Only those who are captivated by the glamour of the material world cannot accept the authority of Lord Sri Krishna. One has to become thoroughly clean in habit and heart before one can understand the details of the anti-material world. Bhakti Yoga is a detailed, scientific, transcendental activity that both the neophyte and the perfect yogi can practice. The material world is only a shadow representation of the anti-material world, and intelligent men who are clean in heart and habit will be able to learn, in a nutshell, all the details of the anti-material world from the text of the Bhagavad Gita. And these are, in actuality, more exhaustive than material details. The basic details are as follows. The presiding deity of the anti-material world is Sri Krishna, who exists in his original personality as well as in his many plenary expansions. This personality and his plenary expansions can be known only by anti-material activities commonly known as Bhakti Yoga or devotional service.
Just one second. If you can go up a little bit, Krishna. So what we are teaching all of you is see here Prabhupada says that the material world is only a shadow representation of the anti-material world. An intelligent man who are clean in heart and habit will be able to learn in a nutshell all the details of the anti-material world from the text of the Bhagavad Gita. And these are in actuality more exhaustive than material details. Okay. So this is the process of our Hare Krishna WECAN study group program. So that's why we've got beginners program, intermediate program, leaders program. And those students, we are making them clean in their heart and habits and making them intelligent. Not that everybody is intelligent. And please do not misunderstand that we who are teaching are also not intelligent. We are also unclean in our hearts and in our habits. But it's an opportunity that we are giving our own selves when we teach you, that we also become intelligent. We also become clean in the heart and habit. I do not know about other tutors, but this is the fact for me, my wife, and my son. And that is the reason why we have got these 3 levels, 4 levels of teaching. So nobody should think that, okay, I'm clean in my heart, I'm intelligent. Good for you if you're thinking, if you're like this, very wonderful. But when you will teach, you should be grounded to the fact that what you are. So we said that to become pure devotee, you should know where you're standing. If you want to remain neophyte, you're free to remain neophyte. If you want to become sincere follower of the Vedic scriptures, you're free to do that also. Yeah, and opportunity is given at every stage beginners level, intermediate level, and leaders sangha also. And when we are teaching, do not think that when we are teaching means we have conquered all these things. I have not conquered it. You may have conquered, or you would conquer better than me. All glories to you. But this is very important to understand. What we are doing is making sure that everyone becomes intelligent, everyone becomes clean in the heart, and everyone becomes clean in the habits, which includes me, my wife, and my son also. Okay? Well, please continue, Mother. Thank you. The presiding deity.
Yes. The presiding deity of the anti-material world is Shri Krishna, who exists in his original personality as well as in his many plenary expansions. This personality and his plenary expansions can be known only by anti-material activities, commonly known as Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. The personality of Godhead is the supreme truth, and he is the whole anti-material principle. The material principle as well as the anti-material principle is an emanation from his person. He is the root of the complete tree. When water is poured onto the root of a tree, the branches and leaves are nourished automatically. And in the same way, when Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is worshipped, all details of the material worlds are enlightened. And the heart of the devotee is nourished without his having to work in a materialistic way. This is the secret of the Bhagavad Gita. The process of entering into the anti-material worlds differs from materialistic processes. The individual living being can vary very easily. Sorry. Yeah. The process of entering into the anti-material worlds differs from materialistic processes. The individual living being can very easily enter the anti-material world by practicing anti-material activities while residing in the material world. But those who are truly gross materialists, who depend on the limited strength of experimental thought, mental speculation, and materialistic science, find great difficulty in entering the anti-material worlds. The gross materialist may try to approach the anti-material worlds by endeavoring with spaceships, satellites, rockets, etc., which he throws into outer space. But by such means, he cannot even approach the material planets in the higher regions of the material sky. And what to speak of those planets situated in the antimaterial sky, which is far beyond the material universe. Even the yogis who have perfectly controlled mystic powers have great difficulty entering into that region. Master yogis who control the antimaterial particle within the material body by practice of mystic powers can give up their material bodies at will at a certain opportune moment and can thus enter the antimaterial worlds through a specific thoroughfare which connects the material and antimaterial worlds. If they are at all able, they act in accordance with the prescribed method given in the Bhagavad Gita. Uh, Prabhuji, just one question.
Yes.
This line that master yogis who control the anti-material particle within the material body by practice of mystic powers can give up their material bodies at will at a certain opportune moment and can thus enter the anti-material worlds through a specific thoroughfare which connects the material and anti-material worlds. Is it the same like we talk about a river that connects? Is that what Prabhupada are talking about here? I don't understand this line.
No, it means that there are opportune times when one leaves the body, one can go back to Godhead. So those Siddha Purushas, they leave the material world at those opportune moments.
And this specific thoroughfare, what is
Yeah,
this?
thoroughfare means a thoroughfare. Thoroughfare means what? Highway or road to go, path to go. It's called thoroughfare.
One second, sorry. Babuji. Sorry.
Yes, okay. If you read the paragraph underneath, it gives the answer.
Yes.
Continue reading.
Those who have realized the transcendence can reach the anti-material world by leaving their material bodies during the period of Uttarayan, that is, when the sun is on its northern path, or during auspicious moments in which the deities of fire and effulgence control the atmosphere. Prabhuji, can you scroll down? The different deities or powerful directing officers are appointed to act in the administration of cosmic activities. Foolish people who are unable to see the intricacies of cosmic management laugh at the idea of personal management of fire, air, electricity, days, nights, etc. by demigods. But the perfect yogis know how to satisfy these unseen administrators of material affairs, and taking advantage of the goodwill of these administrators, leave their material bodies at will during the opportune moments arranged for entrance into the antimaterial universe or into the highest planets of the material sky. In the higher planets of the material world, the yogis can enjoy more comfortable and more pleasant lives for hundreds of thousands of years. But life in those higher planets is not eternal. Those who desire eternal life enter into the anti-material universe through mystic powers at certain opportune moments carried by the demigod administrators of cosmic affairs. Administrators unseen, opportune moments created by the demigod administrators of cosmic affairs. Administrators unseen by the gross materialists who reside on this seventh class planet called Earth. Those who are not yogis but who die at an opportune moment due to pious acts of sacrifice, charity, penance, etc., can rise to the higher planets after death, but are subject to return to this planet Earth. Their going forth takes place at a period known as Dhoom, the dark, moonless half of the month, or when the sun is on its southern path. In summary, the Bhagavad Gita recommends that one adopt the means of devotional service or anti-material activities if one wishes to enter the anti-material world. Those who adopt the means of devotional service as prescribed by the expert transcendentalist are never disappointed in their attempts to enter the anti-material world. Although the obstacles are many, the devotees of Lord Krishna can easily overcome them by rigidly following the path outlined by the transcendental devotees. Such devotees who are passengers progressing in the journey of life toward the anti-material kingdom of God are never bewildered. No one is cheated or disappointed when he adopts the guaranteed path of devotion for entrance into the anti-material universe. One can easily attain all the results that are derived from the studies of the Vedas, performances of sacrifice, practices of penance, and offerings of charities simply by the unilateral performance of devotional service, technically known as Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is therefore the great panacea for all, and it has been made easy to practice, especially in this Iron Age, by Lord Krishna himself in his most sublime, liberal, and munificent appearance as Lord Sri Chaitanya, from 1486 to 1534, who appeared in Bengal and spread the Sankirtan movement, singing, dancing, and chanting the names of God throughout India. By Lord Chaitanya's grace, one can quickly pick up the principles of Bhakti Yoga. Thus, all misgivings in the heart will disappear. The fire of material tribulation will be extinguished, and transcendental bliss will be ushered in. In the fifth chapter of the Brahma Samhita, there is a description of the variegated planetary system that is within the material world. It is also indicated in the Bhagavad Gita that there are variegated planetary systems in hundreds of thousands of material universes, and that altogether these universes comprise only a fraction, 1/4, of the creative energy of the Godhead. The majority, 3/4 of the Lord's creative energy, is manifested in the spiritual sky, also called the Paravyom or the Vaikuntha Lok. These instructions of the Brahma Samhita and Bhagavad Gita may be finally confirmed by the material scientist as he researches into the existence of the anti-material world. In addition, a February 21, 1960 Moscow news release reported Russia's well-known professor of astronomy, Boris Vorontsov Velyaminov, said that there must be an infinite number of planets in the universe inhabited by beings endowed with reason. This statement of the Russian astronomer is a confirmation of the information given in the Brahma Samhita, which states Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadandakoti kotishvashesha vasudhadi vibhuti bhinnam tad brahma nishkalamanantamashesha bhutam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. According to this quote from the Brahma Samhita, there are not only infinite numbers of planets, as confirmed by the Russian astronomer, but there are also infinite numbers of universes. All these infinite universes with their infinite planets within are floating on and are produced from the Brahman effulgence emanating from the transcendental body of Mahavishnu, who is worshipped by Brahma, the presiding deity of the universe in which we are residing. The Russian astronomer also confirms that all the planets, which are estimated to be not less than 100 million, are inhabited. In the Brahma Samhita, there is indication that in each and every one of the infinite number of universes, there are infinite numbers of variegated planets. The astronomer's view was seconded by Professor Vladimir Albertov, a biologist who maintained that some of the above mentioned planets had reached a state of development corresponding to that of the Earth. The report from Moscow continued. It could be that life similar to that on Earth flourishes on such planets. Doctor of Chemistry Nikolai Zirov, covering the problem of atmosphere on the planets, pointed out that the organism of a Martian, for instance, could very well adapt itself to normal existence with a low body temperature. He said that he felt that the gaseous composition of the atmosphere of Mars was quite suitable to sustain life of beings which have become adapted to it. The adaptability of organisms in different varieties of planets is described in the Brahma Samhita as Vibhuti Bhinnam. That is, each and every one of the innumerable planets within the universes is endowed with a particular type of atmosphere, and the living beings there are advanced in science, psychology, etc. according to the superiority or inferiority of the atmosphere. Vibhuti means specific power and Bhinnam means variegated. Scientists who are attempting to explore outer space in an attempt to reach other planets by mechanical means must realize that organisms adapted to that atmosphere, to the atmosphere of the Earth, cannot exist in the atmospheres of other planets. As such, man's attempt to reach the moon, the sun, or Mars will be completely futile because of the different atmospheres prevailing on those planets. Individually, however, one can attempt to go to any planet he desires, but this is only possible by psychological changes in the mind. Mind is the nucleus of the material body. The gradual evolutionary progress of the material body depends on the psychological changes within the mind. The change of the bodily construction of a worm into that of a butterfly, and in modern medical science, the conversion of a man's body into that of a woman, or vice versa, are more or less dependent on psychological changes.
Would you read the last sentence again, Mother, please?
The change of the bodily construction of a worm into that of a butterfly, and in modern medical science, the conversion of a man's body into that of a woman, or vice versa, are more or less dependent on psychological changes.
Okay, let's take a vote. Do you want to we just want to run past this and want to think about these statements of Prabhupada?
I want to think about these statements, Prabhuji.
That's a very slippery slope. I have no answers for this. Okay. We'll stop here. It's fine. So, thank you very much, Mother. Yeah, so what do you want to do, all of you? Want to just, it's okay, we can just move on. Because you are moving on. Nobody said stop unless I should stop.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I got one question. So the last statement that you actually raised, so yeah, I was actually thinking about that point in the past because the sex change surgeries that is currently happening in this world. So as Prabhupada, actually writes, he's right about that, because whenever actually the such surgeries are actually happening, I watch some documentaries, and whenever that happens, actually at the will of that particular individual, as Prabhupada stated, psychologically, they're already there at the at the psychological stage before they decide to go through the surgery. So my question here is that by the statement by Srila Prabhupada here, is that means that this is actually not just happening now, it has happened in the past as well? Or is that been acknowledged that this is also is a normal part of a human life, that these things can happen?
Yeah, so if I had not stopped this point conversation, you would have moved to the next point. I raised, do you want us to debate this point?
And I was thinking about that point, Prabhuji, when that was actually read. So I thought, oh, it's been acknowledged here. So, but I had this question actually, how this is actually,
I'm sure everybody had a question.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of us had questions. That's fine. I think we should move on. Isn't that going to share the screen, please? Because this is a very important point, and I was hoping that somebody would jump on this. But jumping came after me, so we'll see how it goes. So we'll continue this discussion now. Thank you, Mother. Please continue reading.
In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that if a man at the time of death concentrates his mind upon the form of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and while so doing relinquishes his body, he at once enters the spiritual existence of the anti-material world. This means that anyone who trains the mind to turn from matter to the spiritual form of the Godhead by performance of the prescribed rules of devotional service can easily attain the kingdom of God in the anti-material sky. And of this there is no doubt. And in the same way, if one desires to enter into any other planet of the material sky, he can go there just after quitting the present body, that is, after death. Thus, if someone wants to go to the moon, the sun, or Mars, he can do so simply by performing acts for that purpose. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this statement in the following words: that upon which a person meditates at the time of death, quitting his body, absorbed in the thought thereof, that particular thing he attains after death. Maharaj Bharat, despite a life of severe penances, thought of a stag at the time of his death, and thus became a stag after death. However, he did retain a clear consciousness of his past life and realized his mistake. It is important to realize that one's thought at the time of death are influenced by the actual deeds which one performs during his life. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter 32, the process of entering the moon is described as follows. Materialistic minded men who have no information of the kingdom of God are always mad after material acquisition of wealth, fame, and adoration. Such men are interested in the progressive wheel of their particular family unit for their own self satisfaction, and so are also interested in the progress of social and national welfare. These men attain their desired objects by material activities. They are mechanically engaged in the ritualistic discharge of prescribed duties and are consequently inclined to satisfy the pitas or bygone forefathers and controlling demigods by performance of sacrifices as prescribed by the revealed scriptures. Addicted to such acts of sacrifice and ceremonial observances, such souls enter into the moon after death. When one is thus promoted to the moon, he receives the capacity to enjoy the drinking of somras, a celestial beverage. The moon is the place where the demigod Chandra is the predominating deity. The atmosphere and amenities of life there are far more comfortable and advantageous than those here on earth. After reaching the moon, if a soul does not utilize the opportunity for promotion to better planets, he is degraded and forced to return to Earth or a similar planet. However, materialistic persons, although they may attain to the topmost planetary system, are certainly annihilated at the time of the cosmic manifestation's dissolution.
Okay, just pause this. And thank you. Just close Krishna. So let's stop the screen share now. Okay, does this answer your question about sex change, which you all had? If yes, then say what is Prabhupada saying here. If no, then say what is Prabhupada not saying here.
Hare Krishna. I believe it's been answered regarding the conversion of a man's body into a woman. But the part that I did not understand initially, in which I'd like to spend more time on myself, is when Srila Prabhupada said that the change of the bodily construction from a worm into a butterfly is also more or less psychological as well. That was the part that I didn't really understand.
Yeah, from the psychology, it is a very well-known Indian philosophy. I'm sure it is other philosophy too. I'm not aware of this Indian philosophy that the worm becomes butterfly by his will. He wants to do it, so he changes it. It is mentioned in many songs and bhajans also and all that also. So that's how the change takes place. And Prabhupada wrote about man and woman's body too. But again, it is so important you should have jumped on it. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak and discuss this. Is that okay? You got your answer, Paul?
Yes.
So does answer the question of sex change what Prabhupada trying to say? Or saying, not trying to say, saying.
Prabhuji, means I understand that part of actually psychological journey. However, actually, my question was more around. I thought this sex change surgery this is a thing of today's world. Means I never heard that this has happened in the past. I thought it never existed in the Vedic civilization. So I was asking the statement by Srila Prabhupada, was he confirming that this was actually quite normal in the past as well? Because even now, as you mentioned, that by the will of a caterpillar,
Yeah,
actually,
Prabhupada
because
said modern. Prabhupada said modern. You read the sentence, Prabhupada said modern.
Yeah,
okay.
Prabhupada mentions it's in modern medical science regarding the conversion of a man's body into that of a woman. I'll just pull it up.
Yeah, no, Prabhupada said that. I know. That's okay. No need to say. We continue with this. We don't have much
So
time.
this is just actually what is happening in the Kali Yuga. It's not something that was happened in past as well in other yugas. It's only because our tendency to actually enjoy.
Yeah, probably. Yes.
Even in the analogy that is not analogy, actually is fact that actually the caterpillar turn itself into the butterfly, but that is also by the will, as you said. But that's also a natural process, that actually it turn itself into the butterfly. But here actually we are forcing ourselves to go through the surgery. I do not know. I think it doesn't sound very natural.
Yeah, see, that is the reason why I said you want to have a discussion on this, or we just move on. Because as I said, if we have to be very clever, what did I tell you guys when we were in Vrindavan? I told others also here in leaders group. What did I say to you? What happens with me? You do very quick, snap like this with moving around. If you're going to be here, I'll move on. I'll move on to the next stage. Because in spiritual things, you must look for opportune moment to do bhakti. And believe you me, at this point in time, when I read that, my attention, I jumped on it. I said, this is because if, yeah, there are big fights going on at the moment. Those who go to ISKCON, follow ISKCON, you understand this. It's going to be a division there. And I had said long ago about women can be Diksha gurus or not. So I'm not involved in these things. Let them do whatever they want to do. But I made my point long ago. They made a lot of enemies. But There was somebody saying that sex change clinic. You change from woman to man and you can become Diksha gurus, and people liked it and all those things. So I wrote, yes, if that happens, then the middle linga people also would do sex change and become gurus in the future. What are you going to do about that? And nobody liked it. But I said, sex change can make you become a guru. From female Diksha guru to male Diksha guru and this one. So I'm not interested. This is a very important point, and I'm telling you, if you are going to sleep about this, there's a tsunami coming. You'll mark my words. Ambarisa woke up at that time, and there was a chance for us. That's over. It's a very, very significant point Prabhupada said, and there's an answer in this. And that is the reason why I say that if you're going to jump up and down, we read and we not read, we move on. But if you are practiced in understanding, in developing your intelligence to say, oh, this is it. Hold on, let's understand a bit more. Go back there, understand this. Here, yes, no, yeah, that's fine. Everybody has intelligence, So I want this. All of you are in fact better intelligent person than me. I'm a very mediocre student. Even a student in student life I was very mediocre. All there, they do IT testing and all that, intelligence, IQ and all that. I was very mediocre. This is a mediocre student. So I want all of you. I'm sure all of you are very big engineers and doctors and all those things, And so my only job and purpose is to make you jump. Hey, this is yes, yes, yes. If I can do, you guys should do it straight up. Remember this. You're going to pass this, and there's an answer in this. So if you want to do it, think about it yourself. You'll find the answer. Prabhupada has given the answer. Yeah, and you will be safe from all this turmoil around the world. On this, Even mother answer that middle langa will also become guru in order to have sex change into it. They're also not very liked by many. They don't know I was joking, but actually I was joking. I was half joking, with my limited intelligence. But yeah, and in schools in New Zealand, I think I mentioned before also. In the Western world, in the school, children have this about sex change. If you feel like you must sex change, it's a very prominent situation. So as parents, we who are Krishna conscious, if we have our foundation on scriptures, then we will be able to answer these questions ourselves and convince our children and safeguard them. So, as your servant, unappointed servant, my attention was to drive you at this point because a big tsunami is somehow averted at the moment in the country of New Zealand, but it's going to come soon. It's not going to not happen. Tsunami. It has happened, I understand, but tsunami I'm talking about. And even in religious organizations, which are multinational organizations, this problem is bound to be there. This question is bound to be there, not problem, question is bound to be there. And if you do not have your grounding on scriptural understanding, then it will be very difficult. So we have this big opportunity. I encourage all of you to study this, listen to this lecture again, this class, and wait for this point to come and think over it and attempt to answer the question yourself. Just because you have a question doesn't mean how to answer the question. Am I obliged to? Yeah. We learned last week, very important point. So, yeah, it's very important. Okay, I told you this is not going to be matter, antimatter is not going to be that simple. Remember I said last week you want to do it? It's going to take a long time. We'll have many debates and points because this is Prabhupada's, the way Prabhupada were going there, going so deep on a subject. I knew it will unearth a lot of skeletons of modern day. And I've said everything that we discuss in the modern existence is there, and what will come in the future exists in subtle form in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is never outdated. but one should be able to understand the connection because there are subtleties, and subtleties requires mercy of Krishna. It's absolute, and he will give mercy for Paramatma when he sees from our heart, he witnesses that I will really work hard to say, please give me this, I can jump on this, I can understand this, please help me, please help me. Over a long period of time, then he gives, yes, here it is. And then you'll say, yes, I understand. Oh, I don't understand, I don't care, it's okay, too much, I'll make money here, too busy, to this, to that. He says, yeah, of course you're busy. Of course you have to make money. Of course you do this. He says, no, that can remain aside. I want to understand this. How does it help me? You say, why worry? Don't worry. But after a long period of time, when he's satisfied, Krishna's mercy makes you jump on it. So please, all of you, because of your what you are much clever than me. And I really, really pray that you must do better than me. You've got all the capacity. This is one example of it. So please listen to this lecture and Prabhupada's points and think over it. This will change, it will answer your question, it will be safe, very safe. With my limited intelligence, I can tell you, it will be very safe under this shelter. Other people will quote Prabhupada this way also and that way also. And have sex change. All right. Thank you very much. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You really want to study this? There's just one point which has come, we're shaken up. If you're not shaken up, you will shake up soon, you know about this. More will come. Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. So whose turn is it to sing Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us? Is it my turn to sing Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us today? I think Sanjay Prabhu, they're traveling probably. Okay. Krishnadas, would you like to sing Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think Navina is.
Navina ji wants to sing, ji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
तुम्ही गाणार सिंग करणार नवीना माता जी
Yes, Prabhuji.
अच्छा अच्छा छान छान करा हा ऍक्शन करून करा आम्ही असं करू we also will follow you I can't understand how to speak we will follow in Marathi आम्ही तुमच्या पाठीशी नाही आम्ही फॉलो करू आम्ही
तुमच्या मागून करू
हा पाठीशी करू I was right in that there is no real word for the word is it must be a word मागीशी करू हा follow you will follow you so मागीशी करू हा मागीशी करू बरोबर आहे पाठीशी करू is not correct what is back मागीशी करू is also back but will follow you it's more of a word on this correct हा तर तुम्ही मस्त पैकी करा ऍक्शन करून आणि आम्ही तुमच्या मागीशी करू ठीक आहे ना समजलं तुम्हाला हा काय म्हणा रिपीट करा मी काय म्हणतो
You said that you guys will follow behind me.
नाही इंग्लिश मध्ये नाही मराठीत बोला तुमचे पेरेंट्स तुम्हाला टीच करायला पाहिजे आम्ही नाही टीच करायला पाहिजे आम्ही वेस्टर्न आहोत हो की नाही चला चला सिंग करा नाइस मस्त पैकी सिंग करा हा 1 2 3 प्लीज स्टार्ट
Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us. Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us. We have learned some real good stuff. We have learned some real good stuff. Maharaj, we have learned one thing. Maharaj, we have learned one thing. And today for you we will sing. And today for you we will sing. If our room is clean. If our room is clean. Then our mind is clean. Then our mind is clean. If our mind is clean. If our mind is clean. We can do anything. We can do anything. If our room is dirty. If our room is dirty. Then so are we. then so are we. And if we are dirty, we're not happy. We're not happy. Wasting time is the greatest crime. Because wasted time means a wasted mind. So best use your time when you're in your prime. And your whole life will be sublime. If your wealth is gone, then there's nothing wrong. But if your health is gone, that's a different song. But if your character dies, then the world will cry. Only saintly behavior lets humanity thrive. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We must always remember Krishna. And never forget him too. But how are we to practice this with so many things to do? That is the greatest question. And here is the greatest clue. You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you. So listen very closely. And make your thinking sharp. Let's learn how we can never work so Krishna won't depart. If something's due tomorrow, finish it today. And whatever's due today, do it now, don't delay. Your friends might be lazy, or doing bad things. You think again, don't follow them, and you will win in the end. Whatever work we're given, we do our very best. We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest. This is how to live, to work, and to play. If you learn to live this way, we'll see Krishna every day. And when our time is up, he'll take himself above. We sing and dance with him with our hearts full of love. So chant Krishna's names, his glories and his fame. It's the only way this world will ever become sane. So chant Krishna's name, his glories and his fame. The only way will ever become sane. Now please ask this greatest question. And find this greatest clue. You can only remember Krishna. If Krishna remembers you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
जय गणेश महाविष्णु गोस्वामी महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताई गौर चंद्र प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। नमो विश्वदाय कृष्ण भूतलेश्वरी महाविष्णु गोस्वामी नामिने नमो विश्वदाय कृष्ण भूतलेश्वरी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रसाद निर्विशेष सुंदरी प्रसाद साइने। हरे कृष्णा। Okay, thank you very much. It was very wonderful today. So Krishna willing, we'll see you next week, same place, same time. Till then, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Keep smiling. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Prabhuji.
Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Ram Ram. Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Ram.